Hello. This is an unusual place for this. This is usually where I film my too tired movie reviews, but fuck it, it's late at night because I didn't get to this till late. So we're gonna do this now because I can do it whenever I want. Um, it's Wednesday, time for another weekend reading. So what do we have last week? Well, last week, if you recall, we had Batman Superman Volume 2, World's Deadliest, which was a fine read. We had the Department of Truth Volume 2, The City Upon a Hill, which was a pretty good read. Little long, but pretty good. And then, of course, we had Fantastic Four Volume 8, The Bride of Doom, which was also a good read. I've really been enjoying the Fantastic Four lately, which is odd because it was never one of my favorite comic books. But this one actually slightly beat out the Department of Truth to be my favorite read of the week. There was a lot of stuff in here. These volumes mix a lot of different stories, but this one focused mainly on, as the title suggests, The Bride of Doom, the wedding of Dr. Doom, which Dr. Doom marrying his new sort of lieutenant / human weapon Victorious, and that not going well due to the slight machinations of a very impulsive Johnny Storm fucking up his own life and in regards almost everyone else's, and causing quite the chaos because of it. A lot of development here, a lot of chaos with Doom involving Black Panther and Namor as well, and revelations about Alicia, and some other drama with Elijah, Johnny's ex-wife. Him and his new girlfriend might be done. She was barely in the story. And then there was also a little backup story about the Fantastic Four having an encounter with the various versions of Kang the Conqueror. That was also pretty good, and that set up quite the revelation for Reed Richards' life that should be interesting going forward. But yeah, Fantastic Four Volume 8, Bride of Doom, pretty solid read. Like I said, I've been liking the Fantastic Four under Dan Slott, so hopefully he keeps it up. But that was last week. What do we got coming this week? So glad you asked. Well, we have Superman, the One Who Fell. Let's see. Superman and Super Son unite. When a message from one of Superman's old allies draws the powerful duo to a far-off world, Clark and John Kent travel deep into the cosmos, facing a parasitic alien threat that possesses others. The father-son team must work together to free the planet's population and make it home safely. And while John exhibits new and unique abilities, Clark begins to realize his powers may be waning. Is this the end of Superman or the rise of a new one? Written by Philip Kennedy Johnson with art by Phil Hester and Scott Godlewski. This volume of stories sets the stage for a new era of Superman in Action Comics that will reverberate through the DC universe. Collect Superman 29 through 32 and Action Comics 1029. So yeah, this is basically the story that sets up Jonathan Kent to take his place as the new Superman. Basically, all that future, whatever it was they were doing a couple months ago, they're basically making a lot of those stories reality. So, looks like it could be interesting. Next up, we got an interesting one here. Friday, Book 1, The First Day of Christmas. Let's see. A young adult detective hero finally grows up in the first volume of this post-YA masterpiece from acclaimed creators Ed Brubaker, who's one of my favorites, and Marcos Martin, with brilliant colors by Munsta Vicente. I'm sorry, I don't know why I said though. Friday Fitzhugh spent her childhood solving crimes and digging up occult secrets with her best friend, Lancelot Jones, the smartest boy in the world. But that was the past, and now she's in college, starting a new life on her own. Except when Friday comes home for the holidays, she's immediately pulled back into Lance's orbit and finds that something very strange and dangerous is happening in their little New England town. This is literally the Christmas vacation from hell, and they may not survive to see the new year. I love Ed Brubaker, so I will read anything he writes. So that was what really sold me on this one. So it could be an interesting read. And then we have Reign of X, Volume 5. The King in Black casts his shadow over the Reign of X. As the Council makes moves to protect the mutants in Otherworld, Excalibur must determine Betsy Braddock's true fate. The Sword Station is thrown into the deep end of a planetary crisis as Krakoa battles the forces of the symbiotic god Null. While a cross-division sword team takes on dragons from outer space, Abigail Brand prepares a deniable operation all her own. What is Protocol 5, and can the Earth survive it? Or it could be Protocol V. Protocol V or Protocol 5, I don't know. And can the Earth survive it? Meanwhile, Captain Kate Pryde and her crew of marauders set sail to fight for the needy amid the global disaster Null's invasion has caused. Collecting Excalibur 18 through 19, Sword 2 through 3, and King in Black Marauders 1. So, yeah, that could be good. So that's what we got come up next weekend. Or this coming weekend, however you want to refer to it. So, what are we talking about this week? Well, this week I decided that I gotta go to another abandoned plot. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of running out of these, so this might be one of the few I have left. I don't know how many of these more videos might end with me talking. They might just, some future ones might just end with me, just going over what I read last week and what I'm reading this week, which will make them a lot shorter. So, there'll be a lot less for people to ignore. Anyways, what is the abandoned plot about this week? Well, this is one that bothered me for a while. In 2009 or 2010, there was, in Black Panther, it has to do with vibranium. That's one of the big keys of the Black Panther mythos, is that his secret city of Wakanda has access to this resource called vibranium, which is this very rare metal that has very unique properties that allows Wakanda to be the most advanced civilization on the planet without anybody really knowing about it, or at least they didn't. With their king, T'Challa, the current Black Panther. The Black Panther and King are both titles that get passed down from generation to generation. Now, for years, T'Challa was the sole Black Panther. And he ran his kingdom of Wakanda. Now, of course, there were political issues and attempted coups and things like that. Then, at one point, T'Challa had an issue. It seemed like there was a conflict growing between him and Namor, the king of Atlantis, and Dr. Doom, the king of a European country called Latveria. One of these conflicts led to Dr. Doom almost killing Black Panther and leaving him in a coma for a while. So at the point, Wakanda had no ruler and no Black Panther, no ruler or protector. So T'Challa's sister stepped in, Shuri. She became, at least for a time, the queen of Wakanda, and also she took on the role of the Black Panther. So for a minute, there were two Black Panthers and Shuri was the queen of Wakanda. Eventually, T'Challa came out of his coma, so he took the kingdom back, with Shuri now taking a more leadership position in it, and they were both technically Black Panther. Shuri she just had her own series as Black Panther for a while. But then there was this mini-series called Doom War. That's where Dr. Doom declared war on Wakanda to try to take all of its vibranium. He just wanted the vibranium. He wanted to steal it. So it created this huge international conflict that a lot of people wanted to stay out of, though, some of the Avengers and the X-Men both got involved because Black Panther had married Storm for the X-Men at one point, and the X-Men were not just going to leave one of their own to the mercies of Doctor Doom, because Storm was obviously there. At the conclusion of Doom War, Black Panther knew he couldn't defeat Doctor Doom, and even if they did drive him off, he'd just try this again. So he took a very desperate gamble, something he had planned, and he used a combination of his science and Wakandian sorcery to basically make all the vibranium on Earth, or at least almost all of it, inert. Basically destroying vibranium as it existed, and in effect robbing Wakanda of its greatest natural resource, the thing that made it special, which kind of crippled his kingdom. But it ceased to make it a target of Doctor Doom. As a result of this, not only did the Wakandans not have vibranium anymore, and knows what made them special, Black Panther basically was forced to step down as king. Leaving Shuri to basically, take responsibility for everything that happened after, which I'm sure she was happy about that. But the Black Panther series moved in a very different direction, because around this time also there was another mini-series called Shadow War that involved, or not Shadow War, Shadowland, that involved basically Daredevil being corrupted by the Hand, and all this crazy shit happened. But at the end of it, Daredevil came back to his normal self, but he felt like he had been corrupted and worried that his soul might have been lost. So he basically abandoned his position as Daredevil and abandoned Hell's Kitchen. And since he was leaving Hell's Kitchen, he felt he needed somebody to protect it. So, especially after the chaos he had caused as the head of the Hand at the time. So he asked Black Panther, who is now living in New York, so like, hey, you're the Black Panther still. You may not have all your technology and shit, but you're still, the Black Panther. Could you maybe, protect my home while I'm gone? And the Black Panther did. So he was basically, during a series called Black Panther Man Without Fear, he basically took up the role of Daredevil. I mean, he didn't take up the role of Daredevil, but he took Daredevil's responsibilities. And all this time, there's no vibranium around, but that didn't really affect anything except for Black Panther. Eventually, T'Challa came back to Wakanda. He technically wasn't king anymore, but he had like a weird power sharing arrangement with his sister, who was really the queen. He came back in time for that series Avengers vs. X-Men, which is a series where Wakanda was almost destroyed by Namor, the Submariner. It was flooded and completely wrecked. So now Wakanda had lost its greatest natural resource, and then on top of it had a major disaster just basically dropped on its head, a gigantic flood. This is not something you expect to happen in Africa, is a major flood to destroy a city, but because of his Phoenix powers, the Submariner was able to do that, and he almost destroyed Wakanda in the process, making him and Black Panther lifelong enemies now. So that happened, and then he was also around for the newest incarnation of the Illuminati, where he actually ended up working with Namor, which created a lot of tension between the two, and him and his sister when that was eventually revealed. But in all this time, vibranium was, for the most part, just gone. But like I said, it wasn't that big of a deal. Then, that whole Illuminati situation then led into the series Secret Wars, where they basically rebooted the Marvel Universe. Kind of a soft reboot more than anything. And then there was a new Black Panther series where T'Challa is just king again. And something happened to Shuri. And he's king. He's also the only black... She's no longer Black Panther. He's the only Black Panther. Shuri develops these new weird magic powers, but he's king. He's black. He's the only Black Panther. But that's not the weird part. The weird part is vibranium's just back. No explanation as to why. It's just back. I guess the whole losing vibranium thing was such a non-issue, they just decided, we're just really taking away the thing that makes, Wakanda and the Black Panther special. We might as well just give it back. That was just kind of dumb. It's just... that negative effect didn't really affect anything that much, and it was just kind of cooler to have the positive of it. So I guess they just decided to keep it. But that's what the abandoned plot is about. The whole concept of taking away the vibranium to give the Black Panther and Wakanda some challenge, and then realizing that you really just took away the thing that made them special and interesting. So it's like, figure out a way to bring it back. And so they did. And it's back, and it's better. It's always better to do cool, weird shit than to do mundane shit. At least in my opinion. That was kind of a lackluster one, I know. Like I said, I'm kind of running out of ideas with these. So, maybe these videos will just end up being shorter. Anyways, that's it for this week. I hope you enjoy your weekend, and I hope you enjoy your reading. Have a good one, folks.